Hi everyone, I'm Naman Gupta from zbyte and welcome to the new episode of Take on Web3. Today we have Rrahul Sethi. Rahul, a very warm welcome on zbyte.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine.
And amazing. Thank you, Rahul. And Rahul is a metaverse expert. He has done phenomenal thing. He's helping a lot of companies with the metaverse thing as well, right? So, Rahul, my first question to you would be more about the metaverse. But having said that, how Web3 as a technology is really helping the metaverse, and I know it is much beyond just the look and feel of the real life scenario. It is beyond that, right? So what is your take on the Web3 X metaverse?
So, metaverse is partially centralized and decentralized both. Um, though metaverse falls in the category of experience creation, experience consumption, um, it's about having people to immerse themselves into a virtual world which is 360 in nature, has got 3D elements in it, um, may have gamification aspect involved into it, and which lets people to spend more time than a general website or a YouTube video.
Hmm.
But as soon as a commerce gets involved in the metaverse, the role of Web3, particularly with respect to any crypto intervention, comes into play.
Hmm.
So, of the total
Got it.
metaverses that today exist in the world, there's a handful few which first support crypto, and there's
Hmm.
largely the metaverses which are non-crypto, non-commerce platforms. And
Hmm.
yeah, some brands have chosen to go this way in the Web3 domain and load their experiences, of course, on multiple blockchains or blockchain-enabled metaverses. But
Hmm.
yeah, I see definitely a role of Web3 getting bigger and bigger.
Got it. So do you agree that even if the Web3 part is not there, still the metaverse will evolve because a lot of people sometimes they become skeptical about the entire thing or whatsoever, right? Be it like crypto or be it anything. Uh, the reason I'm asking is a lot of time people confuse everything in the Web3 and then they get mad about it and then they call it, it's all facade or whatsoever, right? We're trying to break down in each of the thing how dependent these things are, on each other.
You see, the metaverse story starts with respect to collaboration in the immersive world. You see, we go back to augmented virtual and mixed reality. Hmm? Pick up the virtual
Hmm.
reality component because AR and MR is more with respect to object augmentation. The scene creation is only possible in virtual reality. So if I
Hmm.
create a scene of a room or an office or a park or whatsoever, I need characters in it. So virtual reality was always about an individual hanging on with that VR device in some roller coaster, in some Disney park, and or a 7D, those 7D theaters in those malls, which have got a little bit of haptics and showers and different timing stuff going on. People think that's a 7D.
Yeah.
Um, the, the experience by and large has been very lonely. Like if you're in roller coaster, you're alone. You're not coastering with your friend, all right? Because you both
Hmm.
could be sitting in two different places, even if in one, excuse me, even if in one and location per se. Now, as soon as metaverse comes in, it's all about collaboration. Now, what does collaboration mean? Collaboration mean is that you can both experience the same content at the same time and
Hmm.
finish the step one or two together. But why you do that? There could be always an inference of Web3 and
Yeah.
only when there is a commerce involved in it. There
Got
is
it.
no need for a metaverse to be a decentralized without having a commerce element involved in it. There is no need particularly. Secondly, think of it with respect to the existing decentralized metaverses which exist today. Say with to start with, say Decentraland and Sandbox. There are so many others I
Yeah.
know, but I'm just picking up the ones that general public also will be able to relate to. You relate to the audience who will hear this video. What
Yeah.
you have to see is that the audience largely coming onto those decentralized metaverse platforms is also unique compared to
Mm.
the ones who are coming to maybe other metaverses. More of
Mm.
Gen Z, more with those who have a crypto wallet, more with those who are ready to go buy NFTs, invest into NFTs, make their NFTs, creators, artists, and those kind of people. So for a
Mm.
brand to be able to be a part of any decentralized metaverse is a very big
Mm.
decision. One that must align to
Yes.
their end customer persona, and secondly,
Mhm.
that they should be allowed to do crypto trading just in case if they proceed with that whole, ecosystem of building their content on that. So,
Correct.
though they both go together, but at the same time, metaverse still can exist without Web3.
Got it. Got it. So the real builders I would like to talk about, right? I mean the developers, how inclined they are in creating metaverses. Like say when the time really came, see, still we have like a very limited real estate on a mobile phone, right? But there are like handful of applications that exist, right? Everyone trying to get their own little pie of a mobile phone screen space for a user, but only a handful get that chance, the top ones, right? Do you think, first of all, first question would be, are the developers are really building that much, metaverses for the brands? Second, if they are really doing that, will there will be a time will come when we'll be seeing a lot more metaverses, just like the app economy now, right? And then again, that will be like much more the bombarding space, right? So, what
Sure.
is your, sort of vision on that, right?
Sure, there are two aspects of this question. One aspect of the question is that there is a huge number of people who are right now uh, thinking of getting into the metaverse. They are still not inside the metaverses now. Split it to saying I'm a brand or I'm a company who wants to focus and attract, first to focus, then to attract, further to engage
Hmm.
people who are born say
Hmm.
after 1990.
Yeah.
The ones who are born in 1970, the one like I'm born in 1978. I don't have to go to metaverse to experience certain content if I'm just a regular vanilla person, professional or whatsoever. For me, I will go for
Yeah.
only either of one. I will go to metaverses for thrill, for entertainment, action, or mystery. Something like that. I don't think so.
Hmm.
People will go over there to go and read about certain things and so on and so forth. That's part number one. Um,
Got it.
so therefore, the brands who want to focus on the Gen Z, the Gen Alpha, and they think that
Mhm.
those are the people who will eventually buy their products and services, for them to have it on the metaverse or any immersive experience is a must.
Mm.
It's going to be disastrous for a company thinking that 15 or 20 years back, if somebody would have thought that I will go and make a Facebook community in 2035. I
Mm.
mean, you're not required. In 2035, your competition already will have millions of followers. You're not there. You
Yeah.
will take another 15 years to be there. And you will take
Correct.
15x the investment. All
Mm.
right. Now, the same
Got it.
thing goes with the metaverse. The metaverse also today, every company which is wanting to go and engage with that kind of an audience has to start today. So I know of many brands who are going and creating smaller experiences. Now comes to
Mm.
part number two. While you create a great experience for your audience, that's fine given.
Mm.
It's like go and create a nice handle on a Twitter, X, or a
Mm.
Instagram, and say, I have a great page. I have done a right about us, and then I've put in a right logo of my company. I've made everything,
Mm.
but then I never posted anything. I never did anything exciting for people to come and
Got it.
like on my Instagram page. Tell me one
Mm.
thing. If certainly something like that happens on the metaverse, how will
Mm.
people engage and come? So the complaints of people saying the metaverse does not have people over there is equal to the
Mm.
companies not doing enough and more in the metaverse to engage with the people. The problem is not with the
Mm.
people. The problem is with the brand. The brand thinks I'll
Mm.
go create a nice, good looking virtual showroom over there and that's it. No, it doesn't end. It starts there. You create your own virtual store, then you go put up a set of activities, whether you want to go and set up maybe some kind of a artist coming over here, a stand-up comedian coming over there to come and talk of, or any programs, any concert, something small or big, and do all of those activities to certainly engage that community and ask them every time saying, hey, listen, I'm doing something like this in my own verse, whatever, and that my verse will be starting at 6 p.m. in the evening. Go tell everybody to be there at 6 p.m. for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and enjoy a nice music. Now, that's when people start to resonate with the brand. So uh, the third aspect is, and of course, important aspect in terms of the number. If there are 200 plus million people right now playing games, of that, let's say even 20% or so, if 30% of those are playing immersive games in, say, Roblox or Sandbox and whatever, that
Yeah.
number does not stop. That number will become 500 million in the next 1 or 2 3 years, if not less. That number will become $1 billion in the next billion users, whatever, in the next maybe 5 or 7 or 10 years. That's it. Nobody can stop that. That number is increasing. So the the intelligent creators, the ones who will create their individual communities, okay, will emerge to be the newest brands of the 21st century. Okay, so there's going to be a great brand which sells greatest of the greatest sneakers in the market, in the physical market, say in South Delhi or wherever, Noida. And there is going to be one sneaker guy that does not have a single physical store, and his turnover will be more or maybe likely double or more of that physical store that exists in the next 5 or 7 years' time. Take my word on that.
Got it. No, no, no. I certainly agree. Yeah, definitely. The market is huge. So how big is the market currently globally, the metaverse market, and it's sort of what rate is it really growing? An approximate figure, if you could
Okay, so yeah,
tell us probably.
well, there is a number which sometimes says $1 trillion market and sometimes says maybe it's a facade. Um,
Yeah,
Number is just a number, all right? Think of it like this.
yeah.
Do you want to trap a market which can have 1 billion people in the next 10 years?
Mm,
Right? If you do, there is a market. You create the market. For every brand, there is going to be a market for the Gen Z and Gen Alpha. It's not going anywhere. People have relatively moved from experiences. Naman, when we started our
mm,
business, IT 20 years back, I remember the
yeah,
first website, the one I'd made, was made on some HTML. We used to just put
yeah,
pictures. There was then WordPress came, then Facebook came. Facebook had those GIFs to be made, and those GIFs you could add, or JPEGs you could add. Times changed. We got those videos, nice, good looking sort of explainer videos and whatever instructional videos going in. Times changed. We went into TikToks of the world, made the stories and the reels and what not that you can think of. Then came people with the 360 camera, roaming
mm,
around and going and taking pictures and creating those new generation vloggers, video loggers, whatever. All of those things means that our content experience, the way we experience a content, has changed over a period of time. Where would now we would go from here? We would go from here is in the 360 3D component world. So it's not stopping anywhere. And therefore, I say for every single brand, there is a small revenue or the market waiting.
got it. So can we also comprehend with this that there will be like a Amazon sort of metaverse someday, or is it like I can say a smaller brand but many metaverse? Like what would be, your bet upon?
My take will be always that there's going to be multiple different types of experiences, either loaded on most popular metaverses, but at the same time a copy relatively as similar or in similar lines, the same metaverse being operated in multiple metaverse platforms. It's like this: when you think of it from a web perspective, when you use your Facebook or Instagram, when was the last time you saw a Korean post written in Korea language? When was the last time you saw a Japanese post on LinkedIn?
Mm,
All right. The algorithms are very
mm,
smart to only show you content that resonates to you as a persona. Whereas in the metaverse, that algorithm, I don't think so can work, because it's a visual world. The content is already created. The content is not personalized or hyper personalizedly delivered to the end user. Hence,
mm,
as soon as you think of it with respect to what happens in the metaverse is this: when you want to sell your products and services in Korea, you go to a place where you have the most users getting engaged in Korea. Hence, you will create the content in the Korean metaverse. If you want to ever go and create
mm,
and look at an international, sort of thing, the metaverse, you would want to go to Sandbox, because Roblox have got like 50 plus countries, people coming over and playing around and things like that. So
mm,
think of it like this: that whenever think of a metaverse, always look at your end customer. Where is your end customer? And so hence you create your
mm.
experiences in multiple different metaverses. So a lot of
Got it.
experiences in multiple metaverses is how I see the market to be going.
Got it. See, we have seen the past, we have seen the trends. It's always the one who has the most power. They sort of win the emerging technology race.
Hmm.
But AI has challenged that, right? And the Web3 is something that is on a similar trend where a lot of new companies and the protocols and chains are sort of bringing some revolutionary technologies, right? Like for us also, like say at zbyte, we really trying to do is like solving the low code. As you now remember, since you just gave the example that first you created like your first website on HTML, and then the following the journey, right? I mean, with the WordPress came in. Same with zbyte, like say we are trying to solve the problem of for the developers where they don't need to learn Solidity, Remix, or anything to build like a low code dApp, right? So they can simply use all the Web3 tools while connecting the Web2 world and still build a decentralized applications, right? My question to you would be like, the big technology companies like say Google or Meta, are they really marching ahead with the same pace they have really been into metaverse? Or you are really looking something fresh coming out, like some other company altogether? You know, give us some, some data or something which is happening in the metaverse space, probably in the valley. So yeah.
How many people do you know who have left Meta in the metaverse team? How many people do I know?
Mm,
How many people do I
mm,
know?
mm,
There are in every organization, there is always going to be restructuring and complete focus on what works the most. No organization will be happy to go fire people from units or from business units, excuse me, the which are performing, and the ones which are not performing or underperforming will have restructuring put into place. Having said, Microsoft, first of all, was never a metaverse player. Apple is not at all a metaverse player. Apple is a
mm.
spatial player. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Microsoft is a mixed reality, player. They are looking at a
Mm,
HoloLens now. HoloLens 3, as somebody was telling me in the US just a few days back, HoloLens 3 might be coming. While there
mm,
is a whole lot of HoloLens team that's completely being shut down or whatsoever, but there is still a planning and
mm,
there's still news that some of the new hardware would come. Um, Meta, for that reason, I think was just one company which had a very unidirectional view of the metaverse, because
yeah.
they've been
Mm,
trying to build a solution for Horizon's world, just thinking in mind that they will cross sell it to their own people. And
mm,
legs, for example, the avatar with legs have just come into Meta just a few weeks back. It's not, I
mm.
think, still not in India, it's only in the US. So
Got it.
every company has their own speed of development. So
Mm,
the good news is that in case of Facebook, they were able to create a majority sort of a market, presence with them, with sort of not majority only, but complete market of youth with respect to social media at some point has been completely aligned to Facebook in many countries around the
mm,
world. But I think with Horizons, for example, as far as metaverse is concerned, that's not going to be the case. It is going to be the ones which are going to fit the bill the best, the ones which we say survival is the fittest. That kind of people will fit in, and those will continue to grow. So there is absolutely no doubt I have that will the Facebook be successful? Yes, absolutely they'll be successful. However, this
mm.
doesn't mean that they will have a majority share inside the metaverse domain. They will have a lots and lots of other players who will continue to go innovate and build communities which probably could be bigger at some point than Horizon. That is
Got
possible.
it. Got it. And where do you see the developing countries, in the metaverse chart of growth, right? Are you seeing
Huh?
like a very sort of unusual pattern, or are you really thinking that, or are you really seeing that, hey, now since developing countries have missed a lot of technological big waves and sort of entered almost at the maturity stage, but now do you see the developing countries are also picking up the chart and making like a great technological progress, aligned with the Western counterparts?
Yes, yes, I do see that. I think developing countries will have more users in the metaverse than compared to them to those in the West. However, metaverse has this myth attached to it that metaverse can be well experienced only with the VR headgear. Metaverse is, I think, more than 95% of the ones I know, at least the top, maybe the top 10, the one that I personally have experienced and have written reviews around it, are the ones who do not even support VR. Just I think one or two of them
Hmm,
support a VR at GetGear. So
hmm,
the accessibility of the metaverse will be mostly from desktop computers, laptops, whereas some part of the metaverses with respect to maybe some very, very good experiences, the one those creators will create, will be more popular on the mobile.
perfect.
The third priority with respect to hardware could be a VR hardware.
Hmm, hmm,
Having said, in developing
yeah,
countries, because of the customs and the import tax, etc., the hardware devices certainly becomes expensive, and
got it.
we are not the kind of economy which will have more headgears, VR headgears of the Oculuses or the HTCs of the world uh, in India than the one in the US. Just alone the US. I was reading somewhere about the some 10 million Oculuses which have been shipped out till now. A few in
Hmm,
millions, in fact, not even hundreds of thousands. But as far as India is concerned, I doubt we will have more than 100,000 also in India. I doubt. So yeah, so we are far behind when it comes to hardware accessibility. But metaverses so far are being accessed on the web and mobile. India and China will remain to be the most
hmm.
committed countries with respect to the penetration of experiences in the metaverse for brands or for individual creators.
Got it. Got it. All right. So my last question to you would be, Rahul, is like, and I'm personally also very interested in knowing this, that what would be your like one line call, and or like a suggestion to the brands who are not yet even thinking about getting into the metaverse and the Web3 ecosystem, because the CAC is rising, right, day by day. They are spending a lot of dollars on their campaigns on social media platforms to target the customers, but only for the time being, right? We always say, until you keep open the tap, the water will flow. The day you stop pouring money, and the customers will not really be there, right? So the concern is much more about gathering zero party and first party data. That's the one of the primary reason of bringing the metaverse together, owning your customers, not just holding them together for some time, right? So a lot of things are happening. So what would be your sort of suggestion, or like a saying for the brands who are not yet even thinking about the Web3, let's say Web3 in general, not just even the metaverse, because in Web3 itself is a big opportunity, be it the NFT token, gated access, right? And the blockchain as a technology as well. And metaverse, again, is sort of part of it, right? So the whole spectrum, and not just metaverse, because otherwise that will be like, because sometimes it is more related to the investments also that, it necessarily takes. But to bring the Web3 within their existing, tech stack is not that difficult, at least in today's world, right? So what would be your, saying to them?
Hmm, good question. Um, Web3 is about accelerating or creating new alternate revenue lines. Web3 cannot be taken as a cost from within a brand, cannot be considered to be a cost center. While investment may look like a OPEX expense or an operating expense, however, there is always going to be people who will look at Web3 to be a more of a revenue accelerator for them. Hmm?
Hmm,
Revenue acceleration can happen only when you have great experiences behind. Now, whether those experiences are built on the metaverse or a general website, doesn't matter, but a customer experience on the UI UX side is equals to somewhere on the web.
Hmm.
Now, having said, the brands who are not looking at a Web3 to be an opportunity for them, again, like I
Mhm.
said, are the brands who will then, after a few years, sit down and fire everybody in their team. That brand guy will fire everybody in their team who was the one told them, okay, sir, we will not go to this space. You see, Starbucks today has billions of dollars today in the bank in the form of crypto or non-crypto, whether they can, those assets, whether they can trade off or yes or no, I don't know. But it's a great success story. There is a cafe day
Hmm.
also which has a blockchain solution built in India, by the way. That's also is there because I've been told by the guy who actually built it. And then there are also many other brands that I'm aware of who are also being right now considering getting into the Web3. The only problem is the guys who want to focus on Web3, Naman, or the ones who want to work in the metaverse have probably never even created a wallet and never logged into metaverse, still sitting in the boardroom to decide whether they want to do it or not. That's my that's my biggest worry. Organizations have to have leaders who will foster new learnings, new opportunities for their people to consider changing the way they have worked in the last 10, 20 years and how they want to portray their brand in the further 10 or 20 years. So, people like yourself, who are the trailblazers, will pick up that baton, go to the brands, and continually knock the doors. So, one day their mind opens, their heart opens, their soul to soul connect happens. And at that day, while they are also going to take some time, but even the Web3 industry also is becoming more and more mature. A lot of those folks
Yeah.
who were earlier coming and saying, I've got 20,000 different types of solution, which none of them works, have got today people like you who say, well, I only do one thing, but I do it the best way. All right.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
brands today are looking at. So we should go with that thinking process that, hey, I'm going to solve a problem. Here is what my problem statement is. Here is what my solution is. Now you take my solution, try it out for a few days. You see ROI in it. Come on, come and buy for it, and we're good to go. And your companies will start scaling up. So wait another 6 months to
Correct.
1 year. All of this will change. There are people like you and me who are currently working in the same market, and there are also a lot of other people in the industry. Also, I won't say that nobody is listening. I'm aware of so many, great guys who are listening, working, and trying to build something. We'll just wait for a little more time for this industry to become a mainstream, and it will.
Absolutely. And yeah, and it will definitely. I'm also I keep meeting such folks and they are building something amazingly well. And yeah, I'm also personally bullish on the entire Web3 space. So that is really looking forward to that. But thank you so much. Thank you, Rahul, for giving us your time. It was a fabulous discussion, and we can definitely keep going on until time really permits. But yeah, we have a hard stop there. But thank you so much for sharing your wonderful insights. I'm sure this will really help a lot of people who will be watching this take on Web3 on zbyte. So thank you so much. Looking forward to your future projects, and yeah, best wishes.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rahul. Yeah.
Okay. Bye.